Hello, I'm Curt Naylor, YieldPro Manager with Harvestland Co-op.
I'm Steve Dlugosz, Agronomist with Harvestland Co-op.
Today we want to talk to you about the values of YieldPro that we can bring to your farm. Steve, let's talk a little bit about the 2019 year and moving forward and some of the unknowns we've seen this year.
Well, it's been one of those years to say the least. Variability would be the key word for the season. Variability within fields. We really don't know what this crop's going to yield. We're soon going to find out. But even variability to the point that certain fields never got planted. And so all that has effects not only on what happens in 2019 to finish up, but what we'll be doing in 2020.
So that's a great point, moving into 2020 and starting to look at making fertilizer recommendations. Let's talk about yield information. One thing we do a lot of at YieldPro is cleaning and processing yield data. Let's talk about the importance of that for the farmer.
Okay, yeah, you guys are actually very good at it, and some of the new technology allow this information to be moved seamlessly back and forth. Well-calibrated yield monitor is probably one of the most valuable tools a grower has. And in YieldPro, we particularly utilize it by basing our recommendations for fertilizer. So the areas that take off more yield will get more fertilizer. The areas that yield less will get less fertilizer. And that, again, helps a guy manage his expenses.
So talking about managing expenses and the fertility, soil inventory plays into that as well, and the soil analysis. So how do we utilize that compiled with the yield data?
Yeah, so systematic grids is our system for gathering information on soil tests. We can actually combine those bits of information. So low testing areas might get a little bit more fertilizer. Higher soil testing areas will get less fertilizer. We overlay that with the yield monitors, and we can make a very precise recommendation for the grower, again, to manage his expenses as best we can.
Great. So let's just real quick explain a little more about managing expenses, how we can change around it and work with the grower to maximize their pocketbook as well.
Yeah, so one of the things that we do is we'll run percentages. And so if a fellow knows kind of what his budget is for fertilizer, he can kind of give us that number, and then we can manage those numbers based upon the higher testing areas, the lower testing areas, and actually meet the needs that he needs pocketbook-wise.
Great. Steve, thank you. This has been great information. As we head into the fall, I encourage you to talk to your YieldPro specialist about getting those acres sampled and talk to him also about other values within the YieldPro program.